As the consequences of funding cuts take full effect, rival factions of the public media world are effectively going to war. It's all playing out like a courtroom drama involving betrayal, a satellite, and alleged political meddling. The winner of this battle could decide the future of public media for years to come. I'm William Padmore, and this is Media Watch. To understand why public media is at war with itself, you first have to understand the context. On July 24, 2025, President Donald Trump signed House Rescission Bill 4, clawing back over $1 billion of appropriated funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and Public Media Stations. The CPB announced it would be winding down operations in August, with only a few employees even making it to 2026. Public media stations across the country have laid off workers and in some cases even closed. According to Semi-Public, more than 400 public media employees have been laid off since last July. Shout out to Semi-Public, by the way, it's a very informative website. But giving out grants isn't the only thing the CPB does. It also controls who runs the Public Radio Satellite System, or PRSS. The system, which I assume looks something like this, is critical for ensuring America's public radio stations continue to access public media's vast content library, including live programming. Control the satellite, and at least from a technical sense, you control the arteries of public media's content delivery system. For the past 40 years or so, the CPB has awarded that honor to NPR, or National Public Radio. And they were set to do so again this year. According to legal filings, in early April, before Trump cut CPB funding, NPR and the CPB were in the final stages of a discussion to extend NPR's contract over the satellite system. The deal was they were going to continue running the satellite for another 3 years, and NPR was to be paid around $30 million to do it. But that's where things get interesting. A few weeks later, the CPB called NPR and effectively said they were cut out of the deal entirely. Instead, they decided they would award the contract to an entirely new entity, breaking decades of precedent. You see, while NPR might be the most well-known, biggest, and most influential of the public media corporations, it's not the only one. For example, the American Public Media Group is the parent company of public media powerhouses Minnesota Public Radio and American Public Media, responsible for Marketplace and making the BBC World Service run in America. PRX is a distribution and innovation hub with an extensive podcast distribution network, and New York Public Media is one of the most well-known and well-funded public media stations in the country. They're also responsible for one of my personal favorite programs, Radiolab. 5 of these corporations, including the ones I just mentioned, joined forces this year to form Public Media Infrastructure. It's this new entity that the CPB is awarding the satellite contract to. Under this new contract, Public Media Infrastructure would run satellite operations for 5 years and get paid around $60 million to do it. This would effectively cut out NPR from one of its most essential functions. But why would the CPB do that after 40 years of giving the contract to NPR? Well, if NPR is to be believed, it had less to do with what's best for public media and more to do with avoiding the wrath of the Trump administration. In legal filings, NPR claims that in the days after it and the CPB were finalizing the discussions for their contract, a Trump administration official visited with officials from the CPB. During that discussion, NPR claims that the official hinted that the CPB may avoid funding cuts if they cut NPR out of the deal. The cuts came all the same, of course, but there was no way for the CPB to know that at the time, and so an unofficial bargain was struck. NPR accuses the CPB of violating NPR's First Amendment rights by giving in to Trump administration demands to be hostile toward NPR basically for the way they report. But the CPB isn't just taking those accusations on the chin. They're countering that, for one thing, NPR doesn't have any special claim to the contract, and the power to award it lies solely with the CPB. And on that point, many at the CPB felt that NPR simply wasn't up to the task. In response to the lawsuit, one CPB official even said they feared litigation will force them to reveal doubts leadership had about NPR's management, its resistance to innovation and reform, and its repeated dismissal of the importance of federal appropriation money. On October 28th, lawyers from both entities made oral arguments in front of a judge, another step in what will likely be a prolonged legal battle between former allies turned rivals, with nothing short of the future of public media at stake. This is William Padmore from the future with an important update for this story. So we know oral arguments happened October 28th. Well, we are now sometime in the not too distant future, and we actually have the results of those oral arguments. And I have got to say, the judge in this case was way more sympathetic to the plight of NPR than I would have thought. And that's all due to this guy, Republican consultant Dave Forte. Forte was brought on by the CPB before funding was cut, presumably to help the corporation through another Trump administration. Thanks to internal memos revealed in court, we know Forte advised the CPB to highlight certain themes when dealing with the Trump administration, perhaps most damningly that the corporation had already taken steps to address administration concerns, specifically by withholding interconnection funds from NPR. Here, interconnection basically just means PRSS. Forte was also asked by CPB leadership how to make the decision to cut NPR out of the contract not look like they were submitting to political pressure. That all sounds very fishy. It was so fishy, the judge in the case told CPB to hang on to the $36 million it was going to give NPR until after a trial now set for December. Now, the CPB isn't exactly fazed by all of this. They said, fine, we'll hold on to the money, but we're still going to award the contract to PMI. And that's basically where we're at. Like I said before, this is going to be and that's basically where we're at. Like I said before, this is going to be a many-step process, but check back here for updates. Oh, and special shout out to David Folkenflik from NPR, who has been on this subject like white on rice. I have relied on a lot of his reporting for this update. If you support public media, make sure to leave a comment below about whether you think NPR should maintain control of the system or whether it would be better served under new leadership. And if you support educational and informative content like this, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It does wonders for the health of the channel. For more information about why Congress decided to kill the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, check out this video. Thanks, I'm William Padmore, this is Media Watch, and I'll see you on the next one.